New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.
It is great to have you with us. Welcome to the program we call Sportsline Trivia. I'm Bob Tattern tonight, joined by, of course, Mike Pavlik, co-host, and Michael. Help me figure this out. The Pirates beat the number one team 3 out of 4.
They did.
And we are 10-8, 2 games over, a half a game out of first place.
Good thing they beat the Reds 3 in a row, or goodness knows how far they'd be out ahead.
And it's just so hard to figure out when you're probably thinking, same old Pirates, and the season's young, I know. We collapsed last year badly.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see how badly they collapsed this year.
Gosh. Anyway, folks, the hockey's regular season hockey is just about over, and we can't wait for the playoffs.
Yeah, that will start. I believe the Penguins have availability at the arena on the 1st, which would be next Wednesday. So that would be the first game on May 1.
Already.
And other games will start the night before the 30th. So they will, but there's something going on at the arena that night. So they will start on May the 1st. They will be at home. They have home ice all the way through the Eastern Conference playoffs. They have not. The only team they can't have home ice against is Chicago at this point.
Okay.
That's the only team. They've clinched home ice against every other team in the West also. So I hope we get that far.
Hope so, too.
That would be nice. But tonight they're playing in Ottawa, and nobody's playing. Matt Cook's playing, which should make all the people in Ottawa happy because he's public enemy number 1 up there. But no one's playing. Fleury stayed back in Pittsburgh. His wife's about to have a baby. I didn't realize he was a doctor. But so he'll be there to take care of that. And
did a story, it's coming up on my website Wednesday, about hockey's worst riot ever. Now, Michael, you're way, way too young.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
But you may have heard about this. 1955.
Is it the Rocket Richard riot?
Yes, it is.
Ah, okay.
Rocket Richard battling somebody with the Bruins and had taken a few licks himself and was dazed. And when he got up, he also slugged the referee, giving him a concussion. So it was toward the middle of March. In fact, it was a couple of days
right before the playoffs.
Before St. Patrick's. And in those days, the playoffs began a little bit early.
2 series. The
Right.
semifinal series and the finals.
And
Only four teams made it.
So the NHL commissioner is Clarence Campbell, and he calls for a hearing a couple of days later and suspends the Rocket Richard for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. The people in Montreal are going bananas.
Literal riot. Yeah.
So immediately, well, the following day, the phones light up at the NHL office, and some of the unhappy calls included death threats. Clarence Campbell just turned his nose at everything and said, "I'm not worried about it. In fact, I'm going to the next Montreal home game," which he did. They were playing Detroit, but anyway, they lost the game, which they never, by the way, finished. It was 4-1, and at every point that Detroit scored, they were throwing debris and whatever, and he had his fiancée with him. So when it got to be 4-1 and more, and then all of a sudden a smoke bomb went off, and it just filled the stadium, the arena, which was called the Forum, with smoke. Anyway, he ordered the forfeit for the game, and outside, the unhappy Montreal Canadiens fans did $500,000 in damage to a 17-block area.
And that was a lot of money.
Montreal.
That was a lot of money in those days.
In those days, My gosh.
Was that
Anyway.
Canadian dollars or American
You know
dollars?
what?
I don't know
I
which
have
one
to
was
check.
worth
It
more.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. If you call tonight, you can win a prize, and would like to let you know what the rules are for winning tonight. Every other week is for the same home address, the salami and the mystery profile once in a calendar month. Also, you can only try the mystery profile once in a calendar month. For the multiple choice questions, you get 15 seconds, the grand salami at 20, and the mystery profile goes clue by clue. First-time callers who've not called within the last year will get 2 prizes or more. Depends on how happy I am that day, what mood I'm in. DoubleDribbleBob.com has all the answers to the questions that we ask on the program, and my radio show is heard every Saturday morning on WAVL in Apollo, and that's 910 on the AM dial. Good, strong, 5,000 watt signal to get the radio show to you. In the meantime, Mike, we better break for the first commercial. We'll be back and we'll take our first call in a moment. Stay with us.
Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a 4th generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from 2 locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
And any time today on the program you want to take a shot at our mystery profile, it is sponsored by Matteo's Pizza and Subs, now in Brackenridge Heights on Broadview Boulevard. Great food, hand-tossed pizzas, gyro sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wings, and more. Matteo's Pizza and Subs has it all, including their signature Iron Man hoagie. Give them a call at 724-904-7312. The phone number here is 724-236-0430. Did I get it right, Mike?
Touchdown.
Okay, we scored. Let's go to Tony, lead off. I think it's Tony. Welcome to the program. Tony was away last week, and I don't think he got on the air with us, did he?
I don't believe so. Tony hitting the little white ball. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, but I called. It was like the longest tennis match in the world.
Well, that's right. We were having issues last week because the phones kept
The
going
Boston
down.
Marathon and all
and
that.
the thing that was going on in Boston, I think, might have had something to do with everything.
I got through, then it disconnected. He got through, back, then it disconnected, and I got through, and he got through, and bada bing, bada boom. I said, forget it.
Exactly. That's probably a smart move on
about
their
100
part.
times. Yeah, I was down at Hilton Head, and I had a great time.
Good.
And 2 times I tried to make it to Paris Island.
2 times?
Yeah. First time I was too young. Second time to miss my papers. I couldn't go with the guys. So I finally made it. I played their legend course.
Well, that's good.
And I think I had more fun this time than I would have had if I made it the other 2 times.
I think you're right.
Yep. Now, on that legend course, and why they call it legend course, each hole is named after a legend of the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Did you know that Roberto Clemente was a Marine?
No, I did not know that.
Yep. He was a Marine, highly ranked Marine. humanitarian, and number 3 holes, a par 3, and they have it dedicated to him.
Oh, that's excellent.
You know, I researched this Clemente thing and found out that when he was a young boy, on his own with no help, he rescued a driver from a burning car. How many kids would even get close to a car that was on fire?
Well, a lot of that too. If a lot of the stories you're hearing about what happened in Boston last week, that there's a certain section of people that are just programmed to run toward it and help, and a lot of people did. Put in that position, I probably would have been the guy running away from it in fear. But so many people run towards the problem, and we thank God for them because they help out. They helped out quite a bit, and I'm sure saved a lot of lives there too.
All right, so Tony, how'd you do on the Paris Island golf course? What would you come up with?
What do you mean, what I shot?
Yeah.
Well, between the mortar fire, and the rifle range and all that, I shot an 86.
I'd take an 86.
Yeah, I never played it before.
Yeah, well, that is hard without local knowledge
Was it
too.
roughly 14 over par then?
Yeah, with no local knowledge, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Surprisingly, it was kind of dry, that course. The rest of the courses we played wasn't as dry as this course. But
well, when the course is dry, that normally means your putts go faster, right?
Well, it means everything was dry. The fairways and that. It was like playing on concrete.
That can help something. Yeah, I like them spongy when I'm hitting my irons off of the fairway. That's.
Yeah.
I like a little sponge there. It helps me out a little bit. I get a little bounce because I like it to be dry so I get some run out, but the actual for the shot in, I don't like hitting off a hard pan.
Man, we played at Cedar Point. It's an Arnold Palmer course, and beautiful course. The pro type.
Oh, sure.
Very, very beautiful. And let me see. I think I was on hole 6, par 5. Standing there waiting to hit my second shot, and I turned around, and there's a gator staring at me.
Ouch.
Yeah. I said, "You want to hit this shot?" No, he didn't want to hit it. He sort of gave me the eye and backed up a little bit. But
let them do whatever they want.
Yeah, hey, whatever they want. I've seen a couple of them down there, and that's something to see. But
some of the people who live in Florida talk about gators who come up and get into their yard.
Oh, sure.
Oh, heck yeah.
And they open up the back door to get out and have a cup of coffee in the veranda or whatever.
Out on the lanai.
And there's a crocodile right there.
But I can live that kind of life, believe me.
I promise
and down there, it's
real,
beautiful.
Real easy.
It is beautiful down there, too.
Oh, my God. And the
really
best part
is.
about it, everything's covered with trees. You can't see no businesses, nothing. And they have and they're restricted on size of signs, like Walmart or Sam's Club or Wendy's or whatever it is, But it is outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I'm glad you enjoyed your trip.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a quick sports comment.
I needed that trip. And I heard you talking about the Pirates.
Yep.
I read the script. I've read it quite a few times.
I know how this ends.
Huh?
I said, I know how this ends.
And I've seen the movie, and
Yep.
and it'll be the same thing.
They're
I
not
don't know.
fooling
I hope
me.
not. No, I hope not. But I said it'd be like Groundhog Day.
Fool me. That's what I said.
See.
Fool me
We'll see
once.
What happens? And
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What's fool me 3 times?
21 years, a shame on everybody.
That's what we're up to this time.
Yep. So, and the Penguins, it should be a bloodbath tonight.
I'm afraid so. They brought up
I'm
Steve
afraid
McIntyre.
So. And they better protect their better players. It'd be a shame to lose players tonight.
Well, most of them aren't playing anyway.
And then going into the playoffs. So
they need to work out a schedule, and I think they've done this. They have 4 games left, and to get the guys that they think need a night off, they're going to have back-to-back games. They're going to play Buffalo tomorrow because they moved that one because they had to move the Boston game. So they're going to play Buffalo at home tomorrow, which gives them back-to-back. And then I believe they play Thursday and Saturday, so those are at least a little bit spread out. And then they won't play their first playoff game until Wednesday. But here's the thing that worries me more than anything is that I don't know how, you can go through this week and not play any of your main people, and that's a smart move because, they need to make sure they have as many healthy people as you can. But I don't know what that first playoff game is going to look like when you put 5 or 6 guys back in there that haven't played a game in however long they've all been out. If they all come back, how you can have any cohesion on your team at all that first playoff game when none of these guys have played.
Yeah, well, most teams that have the playoff made already, they're going to be doing the same thing. They're not going to be taking no chances.
No, they're
the
not.
ones who are maybe still fighting. I don't know if there's any.
And really, Tony, the only team that they play this week, the game matters to is Ottawa, because Ottawa still has not made the playoffs, and that could be the Penguins' first round opponent if things.
Yeah.
So they play Buffalo tomorrow. They're already eliminated. They play the Devils on Thursday. They're already eliminated, and they play Carolina on Saturday. They're already eliminated.
Yeah, there you go.
So you probably
Ottawa's
shouldn't
the
have
only
too
one.
much trouble after tonight, but I think you're going to have trouble tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm afraid so. But hey, that's the game. That's the nature of the beast.
It is. It's a tough game, and you have to show up to play. You can't go out there trying not to get hurt because then you know what happens.
Because you will get hurt in that game. Real easy.
That's right.
I've seen enough slew footing to going around the last game they played.
Well, and that's
that
what they think
terrible.
Cook did to Carlson. They think he stepped on his Achilles on purpose, and they will not let this go. And I'm going to guess he's going to have.
The owner said, "Well, even if it was an accident, he still should be out of the league. Even if it wasn't."
How can he not get fined for that?
That's a heck of a statement to
Exactly.
say. But,
Eugene Melnick, he's out of his mind.
yeah, and as far as the Steelers, I don't know. I'm going to stand by the phone that night. Who knows?
You might get drafted.
Yeah, who knows? What the heck? I don't know. They need so much that, and they haven't signed nothing in free agency.
Nope.
That's what I mean. Bradshaw, that they were supposed to sign him. What happened there? I didn't hear nothing. The running back from the Giants.
Oh, well, what they did was they looked at him, and he couldn't pass the physical yet because he had a foot injury, and he still wasn't able to pass the physical, and they told him.
Oh, okay. So then that means he can't pass the physical for anybody then, probably.
Well, that's why he hasn't signed anywhere, exactly.
Yeah,
So after the draft,
Yeah.
he was going to come back in, and they were going to take another look. And what they're going to do right now, and I heard Kevin Colbert today say that that they're still going to be in contact with guys like Max Starks or Casey Hampton or any of their other players that were on their team that haven't signed anywhere yet.
Yeah.
Because they want to wait now to what happens in the draft to see what they have, and then these guys, like a guy like a guy that like Casey Hampton or Max Starks isn't going to sign back here if they're going to be behind like the first round draft pick. It's just not going to make any sense.
Right.
Hey, Tony, we got to get to your trivia.
All right. No problem. Trivia. Well, let's go with the salami.
You sound so excited.
Oh, my. Let's go with number one.
Number one.
Interesting. You want to do this one, Mike?
Sure, let's have it.
Interesting. That means look out. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's what we got. Here we go. Based on a minimum of 20 games, who has the highest career World Series batting average? A minimum of 20 games, who has the highest career World Series batting average?
20 games.
20 games. So that's at least 3 series.
Right. That's a good one. Jeez. How about Roberto Clemente?
It's not, but it's a great guess, and that's what I would have said. It is what I said, as a matter of fact, because Bob threw this one at me before we started, and that's exactly what I said. If I were to say to you St. Louis Cardinals, where would you go?
Pujols?
No, that's good too.
Sam Musial.
No, it's not him either. It's Lou Brock. All Hall of Famers.
Oh, Lou Brock? Okay.
Yeah. Lou Brock, 21 games. That would be the, 64, 67, and 68 series.
I'm not sure.
Would have been.
Well, you got your computer.
I could look. I don't think I have to look that one up. I think I'm good there. But that's it. He hit
What did he hit?
391, 34 for 87.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty good. No wonder they won.
Okay,
All right, guys.
Tony,
Okay, Tom, thanks.
Have a great one.
Nice
enjoy.
to have you back.
See you again.
All right, we have a commercial break, and we'll be coming back in a moment with more. Are you?
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
And if you are shopping for a pre-owned vehicle, visit the 3 indoor showrooms at Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. Tower Auto Sales is a full-service facility with an experienced staff. They have all makes and models available, including Lexus products. Tower Auto Sales, just buy it. Call Mike Fanto, he's the big guy down there. 412-828-6202. Okay, we're going to jump right to the phones and see who's up next with us. Good morning, or good evening, I should say.
Good evening. This is Terry from New Kent.
Hi, Terry.
Welcome, Terry. Good to have you.
Thank you. I heard Tony talking about golf there, and I gave up golf years and years ago. So annoying, so frustrating. I swear, every time I played, I got my ball stuck under the windmill.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
Yeah, but seriously, when he was talking about playing on the Marine course and, the artillery shells and so on, the mortars, I have a son who teaches in North Carolina at a school district that borders Camp Lejeune.
Oh.
And, he says there's all kind of things always going on for training, jets flying over, helicopters flying over, and so on. He says you get used to all of that until they decide to do mortar practice in the middle of the night, That gets you up pretty quick.
Yeah, you don't get used to that.
No. Hey, Cleveland Indians, hitting about $150 as a team. And Saturday night, I guess it was, they scored 8 runs in the top of the first and then 4 more in the top of the second, and away they won. I guess maybe 6 more in the top of the second.
Yeah, they had 19 by the 5th inning.
Yeah, they won 19-6. Interesting thing was that Asdrubal Cabrera.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there.
I'm sorry?
I said I knew you were going to go there.
Okay. He comes up and gets a hit in his first at bat in the first inning. His second at bat in the first inning, he makes the third out. Commercial break. Team comes back onto the field. Game starts up, and you look out, and he's not playing shortstop. After he hit a ground out, a routine ground out, he didn't even run hard. He trotted back to the dugout, slipped on the steps and fell into the dugout, caught himself, and jammed his wrist. So you imagine a sports injury like that. That's pretty embarrassing.
And the absolute worst night to get hurt and not stay in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were just... We were watching this. I was at the Pirate Cave Saturday, and I was watching the out-of-town scoreboard, and the scores just kept going. And I said to my buddy, I said, we're got a problem here. They can't put a 20 on the out-of-town scoreboard. There's no room for a 2 for the first number. And what's going to happen? It was only the 5th inning, but they didn't score anymore after that. They basically were just swinging and making an outs real fast. Listened to a little bit of it on the way home, and they had Tom Hamilton said you got to be careful at a game like this because you're going to end up getting somebody drilled. So they backed off.
Yep. Now, speaking of getting somebody drilled, it takes us out to Los Angeles, where the Los Angeles pitcher drills the San Diego hitter, and he charges the mound, and the pitcher ends up with his shoulder broken. A friend of mine, and I don't know if I've talked about this or not before in here. I apologize if I did. A friend of mine thinks all sports should have a rule that if player A injures player B, whatever suspension he might get is added on after player B returns to the team and is able to play again. So if I attack you and hurt you and knock you out for 25 games, I'm out those 25 games, and if I got a 10-game suspension, it starts after that 25-game return.
I see.
What do you think of that?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all because I don't think you can. You can't legislate by a person's injury, and sometimes it's even luck that somebody doesn't get hurt. Your act can be even more heinous than, I'm thinking of hockey. You know, your act can be even more heinous than something that somebody got hurt, maybe just fell awkwardly into the boards or something. And so I've never been a fan of that kind of justice. I figured that you take it by what the act is and how it should be dealt with, and you.
I think, and I might be partially with you on that, Mike. I really haven't given this one much thought, but you got to hit them where it hurts the most, and that's the pocketbook.
Fine them, yeah.
Make the fine stiffer, heavier, make them pay, and it's, guys. I can remember citing this statistic on the air that. I'm trying to think of his name now. Roger Clemens, when he was pitching the last contract that he had. They figured out at the end of the year how many pitches he had thrown, and they divided it into his salary and came up with the fact that every time he pitched a baseball, it cost whatever team he was on $7,500. So, some players can absorb more, but it's hard to regulate when you've got guys making millions and other guys who are near the minimum. But
Sure. Well, maybe you fine them based on a percentage, like some fine is worth 1% of a salary, some fine is worth 10% of a salary, something like that.
There you go.
I love it, but the problem you have, of course, is that you're going to have to negotiate this into basic agreements with players associations because I've heard more than once, well, that's the maximum fine allowed by the CBA, and it's like you just put it to a face plan. It's like, come on,
Yeah, I mean, if you and I go out here and get caught speeding and get a $500 ticket, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But if Jaromir Jagr goes down the Parkway at 200 miles an hour,
which he's
gets
done,
a $10,000 ticket, he might not be happy, but it certainly doesn't impact him like a $500 when it impacts us.
Exactly. A percentage of what your contract is, I think, is a better way to go. I like that idea. I think we may be able to make some headway with a fine like that.
It would be interesting.
It would be.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess that's about all I have to whine about tonight.
Oh, good. You want to win something?
Well, sure, but will I?
Did you know the one that Tony missed, by the way, in the salami?
No, I did not. I knew it wasn't Roberto Clemente because he only played 14 games.
Yeah, but he had 14-game hitting streak, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
he didn't get to the 20-game threshold, right?
It was in 20 games or more, right?
That's right. He didn't get to the 20-game threshold.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, let me mention that right in the middle of Tony, right when he said Roberto Clemente Marine, on the web, I got a 1-minute-long Windows 8 commercial.
I hate that, and there isn't anything we can do about that. And I've watched, and I got to tell you, I was watching, and we use Ustream, is where we have our streaming for our show on Monday night when it's live to the Valley, and then the replay is on the TV on Thursday night, where a lot of people are watching right now. I was listening to the police scanner in Boston on Friday night when they were catching the second bomber, and it is and the Boston police also does their scanner over Ustream also, and right in the middle of the point where they were about to get him out of the boat, a commercial came on.
Is that right?
Oh, and this stuff.
Jeez.
So I mean, luckily.
As long as you guys know, I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Right. Oh, I've seen it because on the days that I'm not here, and I'll watch at home on Monday night, and like next week, George will be here next Monday, and I'll watch, and you'll see that, and it's like there isn't anything we can do about that. That's just built into the Ustream, and there's not a. But speaking of Roberto Clemente, I dug the hole up. It's hole number 3, and it's 170 from the tips. I have it right here. I'm going to go through this course that Tony played and see if I can find anybody else that we might recognize. But
okay, just watch for that windmill.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. There is a mini golf course that I always play in Florida when we go for spring training, and I did it again this spring. And it's called Smuggler's Cove, and there are alligators on it. There are alligators on the mini golf course, live alligators.
Yeah, and I've read places where alligators or crocodiles. I don't know which one it is. They can run 35 miles an hour for short distances.
I can't beat them.
No.
I have no chance. They're penned up, thank goodness.
They cannot do that.
All right, Terry, let's do some trivia.
Yeah, try them all, or try mystery profile if we can.
All right, let me give you that one. A mystery profile, which of course is sponsored by Mattios Pizza and Subs, located Brackenridge Heights. Are you ready?
Yeah, the picture on the screen is delayed, but yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Okay. Clue number 1. If you get it here, you'll have $100 in prizes. Okay? Number 1, I turned down the opportunity to be the first African American to play football at Texas University.
No idea.
Okay.
Not strong on football. Keep going.
All right. Clue number 2. Well, this tells you he played a different sport. I was once involved in a trade with Reggie Jackson.
I don't know, Bo Jackson.
Okay, let's go down to number 3. I set a Red Sox record for getting hit by a pitch the most times in a season.
Jim Rice?
Nope, let's go down to the next one at 25. I am the only major leaguer to play in 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams.
Wow. Still no thought.
Okay, Tinker Toy, we'll send you out a minor prize for this one.
Yeah, well, I bet you won't, because I don't think I'm going to get it.
I once managed the Colorado Rockies.
Oh, boy, I have no idea. This is a black guy that managed the Colorado Rockies.
Right.
Well, it's not Frank Robinson, I wouldn't think.
No.
Okay.
Give me a quickie.
No, I have no idea. I
Okay.
can't think of who
All right,
that
you
would
ready?
be.
It is Don Baylor.
Oh, my goodness.
Don Baylor.
No, I saw him play up in Cleveland one time when he was with the Angels. He was the biggest, strongest-looking guy I've ever seen.
Certainly. He was the MVP in 1979 with the Angels. He was the MVP. He's a great player. They were talking about him the other day on one of the games I was watching. He was a coach for one of the teams. I think he's a coach with
I read that today,
Kirk
too.
Gibson maybe in
Arizona.
In Arizona, yeah.
Hey, real quick one. Can you guys name the last guy who was a first-round draft pick in the same season by Major League Baseball, NFL, and NBA?
The last draft pick?
No, he was the first-round draft pick.
Oh.
I would say
all
Dave
three
Dave
leagues
Winfield.
in the same season.
Dave Winfield.
That's exactly right.
That's a touchdown. That's a winner there.
Well, he was, by the way, he was selected by the Minnesota Vikings, even though he never played college football.
Never played, but
So he was drafted, I think, by Utah in the ABA. The NBA, I forget. Major League Baseball was San Diego. Mm-hmm. And he was drafted by Minnesota in the NFL.
He'd have made a heck of a tight end.
Oh.
Yeah. Or anything else he wanted to be.
Yeah, probably. He was a great athlete. He turned me
thanks
down
very
for an
much,
autograph
guys.
once. He was very mean.
Ooh.
He was very mean. I never liked him from that day on. Can't you see it's raining, he said. I said, yeah, no kidding. Can't you see it's raining? At the time it took you to slap down a little 12-year-old, you could have signed the paper.
Hey, Terry, thank you for the call.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Okay.
Terry.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, I think we have a commercial break and then coming up with another call. And we also have a gentleman in the audience tonight. We want to get up there as well. So, gentlemen, somebody come in.
Somebody walk in.
Let's take the break. Thanks for watching us here tonight. We're back in a moment with a lot more. Don't go away.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
And you've got the best products, the best selection, and the best customer communication and best service after the sale. Whenever you shop Tower Auto Sales for your next pre-owned vehicle, just buy it. That's what they say. Call Mike Fanto, the GM, at 412-828-6202. Mike Fanto at Tower Auto Sales. Bob Tattern here along with Mike Pavlik tonight on Sportsline Trivia, and we're going to go to Chris, who is next in the on-deck circle. Chris, good evening.
Hi, Bob, Mike. How are you guys?
Okay.
Good, Chris.
I would think the Pirates are going to be okay if they do not mess up with the trades again. If they try to get the momentum the way they have it right now, I think they'd be perfect.
You know, it's
we're not
almost
going to probably win a World Series, but we may at least win a division.
Chris is a big believer that they screwed up at the deadline, by the way.
I really think they did. That's what the whole problem is. Because that's when they start dropping. As soon as they start trading the right players, once they have the momentum there, I think they just want to leave well enough alone.
Well, maybe they have learned their lesson. Like I said before, the Orioles were in the same position. They didn't make any trades, and everything worked out well. So for Baltimore, so maybe the Pirates will have learned that lesson. I don't know if they're going to be able to get that far with this pitching staff as currently constituted, but I am the wait and see fan this year. I'm just going to fold in my arms, lean back in the chair, watch each game separately as its own little entity, and then we'll just move on to the next day.
Is there a chance we can just buy out for a regular backup pitcher just in case one of them would get hurt? Is there anybody good out there really we can afford?
There are people good out there, but the question is, are you willing to pay the price to get them? And it's hard
That's
to
what I'm
get.
saying.
It's hard to get guys. They're waiting for injured guys to come back, is what they're doing right now. They're waiting for Charlie Morton to come back. They're waiting for Francisco Liriano to come back, and Jeff Carson's too, to some extent. But the point is, are we talking Koufax and Drysdale here at all? I don't think so. So, how much are they going to be better than a guy like Jonathan Sanchez who can't get through the third inning? Yeah, sure, I got that. But is it going to be good enough to sustain a long run into the season? This team to win consistently, to win more games than they lose, to contend for a playoff spot, is going to have to hit better than they've hit the last couple of years consistently. They're going to have to hit. And when they hit, they look like a pretty good team. So that's going to be it. That lineup's going to have to, they're going to have to get some consistency with some guys in that lineup. The bottom of the lineup's going to have to be better than it's been the last couple of years and the first 3 weeks of this year.
But there's nobody we can afford out there, am I correct?
Probably not. No, frankly, Chris, if you look at it, their 2 highest paid players are being paid by another team.
Yeah, $16 million to
Wandy Rodriguez and A.J. Burnett are basically being paid by the teams that unloaded them to get rid of them. I mean, would the Pirates play A.J. Burnett $16 million a year? No.
No. We don't have the money here in Pittsburgh for all that. So that's what our problem is. We just live in a lower income bracket than they would like out in California or someplace like that. I think that's what the whole problem is. We expect California.
In the situation they're in, they need young players to do well before they get expensive. That's really what it is.
Okay, and then as far as the Penguins go, I would think they're going to do well in the playoffs. I mean, I just think tonight they're going to lose it. But I'd like to see some more whiteouts toward the end of the season.
I think they're going to lose tonight too, because I think Ottawa needs that game. The Penguins have won 6 in a row. They had that long winning streak, lost 2, and then they've won 6 more.
That's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
What do you think, Mike? Do you think there's going to be a big fight tonight?
I think there's probably going to be problems tonight. I don't know necessarily that it's going to be a fight. Is somebody going to take a cheap shot at Cook? Has the crazy owner quietly told those players that there'll be a little something extra in your check if you take care of this? I mean, this guy hired a forensics team to prove that he did it on purpose. I think
there's too many cutbacks. I don't think anybody wants to throw anything extra in anybody's check anymore, to tell you the truth.
Well, I mean, it would be cash, Chris, and that somebody would deliver it without anybody knowing. That stuff happens, you know.
Or a car.
It's a bounty. It's a bounty. Call it what it is, right? But I wouldn't be surprised. This guy's a little
Let's put it this way: cash is king, and if you got it, you're lucky.
All right, Chris. Hey, time for trivia, man.
I can't get trivia this week.
Oh.
You sent me Taco Bell last week, remember?
Well, yeah. Hey, you know what? Thank you for holding on. Did you get your prize in the mail yet?
Yes, I got it. That's how I just knew I got it.
Okay, we sent you a
Taco Bell.
certificate to Taco Bell in New Kensington. Enjoy, Chris. It's a nice, handsome prize. Okay.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris, for
Okay.
calling.
Let's go to the limo man who's been waiting for quite a while now. Bruce, good evening.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me without messing the phone up?
I can't hear you. I can't hear him at all.
You can't hear me at all. Just turn the volume down.
I can't hear him at all.
I can make out a little bit. Are you in the same spot where you always call week after week, or?
Can you hear me okay now?
Jiggle the wire on the tin can, maybe?
Can you hear me okay now?
I'll tell you what. We're going to have to move on. Maybe we'll call him back, or maybe if we call him back, maybe we can work that out. And
Bruce, can we call you back?
we'll try that, and we'll try it again because this isn't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll call you back. Okay. In the meantime, how many commercials? Okay, Paul, do you want to jump up? Do a quickie here. Not a quickie, but let's squeeze
Take as
you
much
in here.
time as you want. You spent you come out. You're nice.
We're going to
do
call.
that. We can do. Billy says we can do a commercial too.
No,
if you
that's
want.
okay. That's okay.
We'll just
let's
we'll
let's
hang
go
in there
let's
and
go
we'll
ahead
talk to
with
Paul.
Paul. Do you guys need the Brooks's phone number? Okay. Okay, you got it.
Back.
Okay.
Maybe that'll work out better because I couldn't hear him at all.
Okay.
So what do you got, Paul? You like all this golf talk we've been having? Yeah.
About the NFL schedule that came out. No London game on Thanksgiving Day, as I predicted.
No, but the Steelers are playing on Thanksgiving Day,
Well,
so
I'll be watching Mississippi and Mississippi State.
the Egg Bowl.
College, the real stuff.
You'll be watching the Egg Bowl. Yeah, the Steelers' schedule came out. They will be playing at Baltimore on Thanksgiving night.
Right.
That'll be the third Thanksgiving game of the day. They also will be playing in London, but it will be the fourth game of the season, and that'll be against the Minnesota Vikings, which is a Vikings home game. So, you know, you look at the schedule, and the thing is that I have a hard time doing is trying to figure out how good the Steelers are going to be to actually try to go through and see what the wins and losses are going to be. I'm not going to do that yet, but it's not a hard schedule. It's not an overly difficult schedule. They have to go to New England, and what do you think of the spectacle they make of the whole thing? That they have a team. Oh, we're going to have the launch of the schedule. It's like, now here are the Monday night games, and it's like they make an event out of a complete non-story. We already knew who the opponents were.
Now people can't wait till the NHL schedule comes out in July now.
Yeah, 2 days after they'd hand a cup out.
Right.
This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a very short off season. They're going to hand the cup out, and then we'll be able to have our cup party with our 4th of July party.
Which is bigger than the March Madness bracket.
Maybe not in this case. I don't know. But you know, you got to look at it. I see the Redskins are going to be on the first Monday night.
Right.
The Steelers are going to have their primetime games. I think 3 of them, 4 if you count the one they're going to have an exhibition game.
Right.
So they still and they could still have a game flex back to Sunday if they're in the race. They play Cincinnati early. We'll see James Harrison the second game of the season.
Right.
So we got that. But you know, it's not a difficult schedule. But the question is, what kind of team are they going to have playing some of these teams that you would think in the past you would say, oh, that's a win. I mean, you see they play Buffalo and the Lions back to back at home. You figure win-win. It's like you can't really say that.
I say about 9-7.
I'll tell you what, I might take that. I might sign up for that right now. I heard the guys on the morning on the Fan today. They went through it and we got 8-8 out of it.
Right.
So, you know, it would be 8-8 again. And the same scenario, 7-8 go into the last game, and they beat Cleveland the last game at home, and they go 8-8 just like last
So
year.
they're saying split with Baltimore, Cincy?
Oh, lose both to Baltimore and lose both to Cincy.
Yeah.
As long as there's a foot of snow in New York on Groundhog Day for the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl, I want that to be such a mess. I think it'll be fun. I don't care about their logistical problems. I want the Super Bowl to be played in the snow.
Yeah.
And I want a team from California to be in it, and then a warm weather team to be playing in it, so they can complain about the weather.
If it's
or don't.
Yeah. If it's a success, I think like Pittsburgh or Washington D.C. should bid for the Super Bowl.
I want the Saints to be in the Super Bowl, and then it'll be snowing, just so
Right.
they can complain.
What was the one you had mentioned before we went on the air? Paul, you were talking about San Diego playing in a, talk about that.
In 1982, they played a divisional game at home in San Diego, and it was 84 degrees. Then the next week they were at Cincinnati, and the wind chill was minus 59. Wind gusting up to 40 mile an hour the whole day, which I think is colder than the Ice Bowl in Green Bay.
Wind chill wise, I think it was. I remember the shots of the steam coming off the river, and the river was frozen, and that was another talk about the warm weather teams complaining. The Chargers complained about the cold. Win enough games and you get to play that game at home. That's kind of how the rules go.
And the Ice Bowl, I looked it up, there was no wind, like 2 mile an hour.
Right. I just remember everybody all bundled up.
At Green Bay?
Yeah, there was no wind that day.
I believe they had the Ice Bowl this past Saturday night at PNC Park. I've been to 3 games this year.
Right.
In Pittsburgh, okay? I've seen snow fly on 2 of them. I mean, it was actually snow on my dog Saturday morning.
And both were in, obviously, April. So
all 3 of them were in April. And it was cold all 3 games. I mean, it's been. I can't wait to actually go to a baseball game when it's nice. It's like, they've had nice days during the week. It's been in the 70s, but it's going to be almost 70 tomorrow. Going to be nice, but they're not in town, so it's okay for the weather to be good.
And the Blue Jays' first ever home game was snowed out.
Yes, there was all kind of snow there, and I think the Twins got snowed out again tonight.
They did.
Yes, the Twins have been snowed out again, which is like the 4th or 5th time. Winter just does not want to go away. I blame the Weather Channel for naming the storms. I've said it before. They named the storms, and now this is Zeus now, so this can be it. I said they were just, now you named them, they're going to have to use all the letters, all 26 of them, and now maybe that'll be the end of it, and we can get to some spring here.
Paul, how did you, here's what I sent you, by the way. You said you hadn't received it.
Yeah, I haven't been home yet.
You have a $50 gift certificate from Lombardo Auto Detailing, which is, of course, along Stevenson Boulevard.
Okay.
And we got you a $25 coupon from Golden Dawn Supermarket in Arnold.
Okay, thank you.
Great place to shop. So, Paul, thank you.
All right,
Appreciate
have a
it.
good day.
And you're not eligible for tonight, so we
that's fine.
thank you for stepping up.
Okay.
Spending some time with us. We're gonna.
I have the Penguins update on the game tonight against Ottawa. Bo Bennett out with an injury. He's listed as day-to-day. Letang's not playing with food poisoning, and Marc-Andre Fleury did not make the trip because his wife's about to have a baby, so he's still back in Pittsburgh. And then also Crosby, Malkin, Neal, Martin, all out. Erik Karlsson's not playing for Ottawa. He's close to coming back, which I think would have been more ironic if he would have played. Yeah. And then there's going to be the big Matt Cook interesting in Steve McIntyre, quote, "I'll be ready." The rent-a-goon for the evening.
Let's try the limo man again here. Bruce, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me better now?
It's still tough to figure you out, but let's give it a shot. Go
ahead.
Can you hear me better now?
Nope.
I'm working on it.
I can hear better now, and that was about it.
That's all I said. Did you hear about Willie Mays' wife? She died. She's a Pitt graduate.
I can't make them out.
Bruce, we're having a heck of a time.
I can't make it out.
Are you on a cell phone or a land phone?
Cell phone. We're the only one that has a problem.
Pardon? Well, that's fine.
I guess. I couldn't hear him.
Maybe he hung up. Bruce, did you hang up?
Or got cut off.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll tell you what, final commercial
We had
break.
a dropped call, Bob.
Yeah, final commercial break, folks. We're coming back. Stay with us. Sportsline continues in a moment. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
All right, folks, we are back, and I've got to apologize to our last caller, but I mean, what do I apologize for? We can't make out the transmission. It's just garbled, and I'm sorry that we just couldn't get the call through.
Everyone else's phone is working.
So anyway.
I have draft stuff. I've come armed. I have very interesting. Ken Wood are I call them contributors when they come and sit in the audience. They're not guests.
But he's not here tonight.
He's not here tonight, but he sent me a nice breakdown of the Steelers' recent drafts, and I thought it was really interesting that you can almost draw a line to where the draft started to fall off from when Bill Cowher left. And Bill Cowher subtracted from the personnel department, and Mike Tomlin, and this has nothing to do with their coaching ability on the field. I'm just talking about what they do personnel-wise.
Okay, you got me interested.
In the draft room. That in the 2008 draft, there's nobody left. Tomlin's first draft was 2007, and they took Timmons. But so I went back and looked at the 06 draft, and it wasn't very good either. But my point being that the general manager is the same. Kevin Colbert's the same guy that he was that drafted the core of the team that went to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. He's still the same guy. And I was trying to figure out what changed. And a lot of it isn't that they're drafting so much lower, because even when Cowher was here and they weren't winning the Super Bowl, they were still winning a lot of games and they still drafted low. The only time that they really had a high pick was the year they were fortunate enough to draft Ben, who Cowher didn't want, by the way. So, I've tried to put it together and tried to piece it to where, okay, I'm going to say that when Cowher left, the drafts fell apart, but the draft his last draft here, of course they did draft last because they did win the Super Bowl that year, wasn't very good either. So I really don't know. It's really hard to put your finger on, but the reason they're in the predicament they're in now is that they don't have players to come in and take these guys places when they go. And they're in a position this year, for those of you watching on the TV side, tonight, right about now, they're going to get these right. They can't afford to swing and miss this year, or they're going to be in for a couple of bad years. And you're going to need somebody that can come in and play. I'm a Jarvis Jones from Georgia. He's an outside linebacker. He would slide right in and play in James Harrison's place.
I heard of the discussion on him.
He's got an injury issue. Stenosis with the spine, but he was cleared by the NFL doctors, not any team, but at the NFL. When you go to the combine, they discover it there. But they clear him and say he's going to be okay. There's a really good chance he could be there at 17. That the fact that the injury might actually have him drop to the Steelers for a chance to pick him. He's a guy that I think you can take and he can step right in. And there are some guys like that could play right now. And there are also some guys that may still be behind somebody. There's a safety, Kenny Vaccaro from Texas, who everybody loves. But he's not going to walk right in and start right now because you still have Polamalu and Ryan Clark, but they're both getting up there. You're going to have to replace these people. Polamalu gets hurt a lot. Ryan Clark,
just turned 32.
I mean, in NFL numbers, those are all guys now. So, they're going to get a good player. They're going to have a chance to get at 17 a good player. And the other thing about this draft is that it's not top heavy, but supposedly it's deep. And that's why I wasn't exactly thrilled with Emmanuel Sanders' idea of keeping him and matching the deal, because that extra third round pick I think might have come in handy this year. With the 17th pick, you can also trade back and get an extra pick, usually in the 3rd or the 4th round. That extra, if you trade back maybe 5 spots, you still get one of the guys I have a star around, which I have quite a few of them. Maybe you could get Eddie, you trade down maybe even 10 spots and still get Eddie Lacy, the running back. You're going to need a running back. Hate doing it in the
What happened to
first round.
Bradshaw? We were talking earlier.
Well, they're still going to look at him, and I think a lot's going to have to do with what they do with the draft. Are they going to take a guy high enough? And you have probably a good half a dozen running backs that you could get in the first 2 or 3 rounds. And the easiest position to come in and play right away is running back. There isn't a whole lot to learn. Here's the ball. Go ahead and find the hole and go. And a lot of that's just talent. A lot of these guys, especially on the defensive side, they seem to assimilate their defensive guys in a lot slower than they do their offensive guys because, face it, LeBeau's system's complicated, and it takes time for these guys to learn it. An outside linebacker, did you just say, hey, there's the quarterback, go get him? Maybe that's not so hard. But, the defensive backs, you notice, what corner or safety comes in and just starts right away. Even Polamalu sat his first year. He didn't even play, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. So it's more difficult to do that defensively. So Cordero Patterson is a wide receiver. This guy's 6'2", 216. He's a big guy. He's got he ran a 4.3 at the combine. What they had in yesterday's paper is no receiver his size should have that kind of speed.
Take him.
He's there too, but the thing is, he's a 1-year major college football. He was a junior college guy, but again, what did Mike Wallace do, Bob? He ran down there and run as fast as you can, and here it comes. They haven't replaced that speed. That's another guy. Tyler Eifert's a tight end from Notre Dame. I love him. Now, Heath Miller is going to come back, but you can play 2.
Oh, sure.
Look at the Patriots. Their offense is built around, their passing game is built around 2 tight ends. But he may go higher, and he's terrific, and he's a Pro Bowler waiting to happen. So I put a star on some guys that could be there, and I got 6 or 7 guys. They'll get one of them. And you can even, and if you like some of them that you could trade down and get an extra pick, I think it might not be a bad idea. Kevin Colbert said today they won't trade up, that he wasn't going to lose 2 picks somewhere below where the draft is thicker with players just to move up a couple spots because he knows some of these guys are going to fall back. And a lot of it has to do with the 4 or 5 teams directly ahead of you. What do they need? And what do you see coming towards you? But they have needs at so many places.
Interesting remark you made about the fact that they were not really crazy about Ben.
Cowher wasn't, but Colbert was, and so was Rooney.
Maybe because he was a Mid-America Conference quarterback. And
I thought it was so risky. I really did. I did. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with it at all. But, sometimes you have to take the chance. Where do you get those guys? Where do you get you have to draft them. You're not going to get one in a trade. Once somebody gets one, they're not giving them away. You see how hard it is for these teams to trade. I mean, Oakland's been looking for a quarterback since Jim Plunkett retired. I mean, they had a couple great years from Rich Gannon, but I mean, they've been reaching. Carson Palmer has taken anything. Now they're going to try Matt Flynn. It's hard to get one. And they took a gamble, and it worked, and they ended up with 2 rings because of it. Because what's the difference? Cowher's the same coach. The X amount of years he was here before then, the difference was he finally had the quarterback. That's why they won.
And that'd be the reason the quarterbacks make, what do they say?
That Joe Flacco is the only guy left on the Ravens because they had to get rid of everybody else to afford to pay him under the cap. That's how that goes.
Folks, we thank you for watching tonight. I enjoyed it.
By the way, I did too. And by the way,
sorry about the missed call.
I just see on here on Pro Football Talk that the Bucks could trade LeGarrette Blount during the draft. There's another possible running back guy who had some issues when he was in college, but he's been a solid citizen since he's been in the NFL. And the Bucks are looking to replenish draft picks since they sent a bunch away to get Revis now. So there'll be a lot of moving around, and a lot of times. And you remember on draft day what Tom Donahoe did. The greatest move. The guy was a very good general manager here, but the best move he ever made was getting Jerome Bettis from the Rams in a trade because they didn't have any use for him anymore. And he, not yet, but will be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, again, thank you for watching Sportsline Trivia tonight. And we'll do it all again Monday night on live streaming. You can go to my website to pick it up, and also the AKLC website. What's the name of the website, Beach? How do you? Okay, aklcstudios.com or doubledribblebob.com, and the streaming instructions are right there. And of course, we videotape Monday night, and it's played back Thursday night on Comcast at 8:30.
People are flipping between us and the draft right now.
Folks, thanks again for watching. I'm Bob Tanner.
I'm Mike Pavlik.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.